I think in terms of add-ons, I'm only using 1 or 2. Wait, let me show. Few tools. Interesting. Huh. I remember I had more add-ons. Preferences. I'm using the bool tool, yeah. And the 3D print, or was it underscore print? No. 3D print toolbox. These are the only 2 add-ons I'm using. And for navigation, I'm using, was it in navigation or in input? I forgot where this setting is. Yeah, emulate 3-button mouse. It's an input. So basically, if I hold down Alt and then I can use the mouse to turn around, I can click on the mouse and turn around. If I use Alt Shift, I can pan, and with Alt Control, I can zoom in and out. So if you see me like using the mouse to zoom and pan and stuff, you know how. It's in Edit, Preferences, Input, Emulate 3-button mouse. Okay, so first things first, let's add our reference image. So Shift A to add image, reference image. And I think I put it on the desktop. Yes, so we're doing a Roach, as I said. And one thing about reference image, once you add it, it's kind of weird. It depends at your camera where you were looking at, so it's not actually straight, but we can fix that. We can click on the image, then go to data, and here we can do some stuff. Interesting. Where is the rotation? Offset X, no. Offset Y. You know, never mind, I'm just gonna delete it. We can look from this side and then add it. Yeah, now it's in place. It's in the correct place. Okay, so first thing that I want to do is let's see. Oh, this image is not that great. Huh. I think we need another one. We need a better image. No. This one is too small. Huh. Should we use this one? I have the same setup on Fusion 360. Oh, you mean in terms of navigation? Yeah, I love the mouse navigation. Okay, let's try this image. Yeah, no, where was it? This one? Save. A bit better, but still. Anyways, let's leave it like that. And let's add a cube. So at the moment, I think this is 2 by 2 by 2 millimeters. So let's increase this a bit. Let's see, on the y-axis, let's make a 90 mil. Should we make a 90 mil lure or 100? The big lures are usually easier to make. In the Z direction, let's make it 20 for now. And in the y-axis, let's make it 50. In the x-axis, we can change these later, that's fine. And I'm gonna click on the image again. And let's see. depth front, yeah. So now it's always gonna be on the front. I wanna see only, I wanna see only the front side. So the back will not show. Let's make it bigger. Okay, but now the thing is we cannot see the cube anymore. So I'm gonna click on the image again, then on opacity and reduce it. Let's use 0.2. Okay. So I want this to be similar size to the cube. So S for scale, G to move it around, the y-axis, G, Y. Yeah, and R to rotate. Okay, should be fine. And now we are ready to do some modeling, but I think we need to decrease this a bit more. I'm only interested in the outline. Okay, we can lock this, by the way, somewhere here. Where is the lock icon? Yeah, I don't know where it went. Anyways, so when we want to do the shape, the initial shape of the lure, I tried lots of ways, and actually I think 2 days ago I discovered what I think is the ultimate way, because it's the same, basically, when the same approach as forms in Fusion. It's literally the same, and it's a lot easier than what I used to do. So the first thing that I want to do is add a subdivision modifier. So we can go here, add it from here, or we can just click Control. Let's go with four subdivisions, and immediately this is gonna smooth out a lot. It's gonna deform our cube, but that's fine. So tap to go to edit mode, and now we can see the individual vertices. So at the moment, as you can see, this is still a cube, but the subdivision has deformed it a bit. And from here, I want to start adding some edges. So to do that, Control R, and then if we move the mouse, we can either go like horizontal or vertical. I want vertical edges, and if I scroll on the mouse wheel, I can increase the number. I think these are enough for now, and escape to leave them in the middle. And I want one here at the top, also escape to leave them in the middle. Now from here, I can either delete all these vertices and add a mirror modifier to keep it symmetric, or I can click here at the top. This is mesh symmetry, and I can select symmetry on the x-axis, and now if I move this, for example, it's gonna move the other one. Now, we can work with basically with a mesh like this, but again, I found it not very, what do you say this, not very intuitive. So from here, we can select, for example, face, select this face, and let's say, move it to the side and stuff. Now, if you wanna do it exactly as it's done in Fusion, then in the subdivision, there's this icon right here that says on cage. And if I click on it, if you've ever used Fusion, then this might look familiar to you. This is exactly how Fusion 360 looks like when you're doing a form. So now I can go to face select this face, for example, and click G to move it and move it down. Select this face, this face, G, move them up. Now let's say I want to move just this line. You can go to edge select and then move this one up. So now I just need to repeat this step to go to face select to get our final form. Edge select, you can move this back here, this up here. Now we can add, we can start adding more loops now. So Control R, I want one right here. Let's move it to place. Now I can move this one up. This looks fine. We need one here. Okay, I deleted an edge by mistake. Yeah, G and F key. G will move something, F will delete it. Okay, and I think this is fine. Let's hide the image. Okay. And if we click this again, this is how it looks. This is how it actually looks, our mesh. So yeah, if you're trying to do this this way, it's gonna look a lot weirder. I found this one to be way better this way. Yeah, so now we can do the top profile. I don't have any reference for the top profile, so I'm just gonna guess it. Let's go back to edge select. I can need to move on the x-axis. This is our front. Maybe just the edge. Yeah, this is better. And by the way, we can do something here. So if you don't want to move each edge on its own, we can, for example, click this edge and there's an option here called proportional editing. So if I toggle this on, and there are some settings for it. Now if I try to move something, there's a circle that appears and we can make it bigger or smaller using the mouse wheel. So any edge under this circle will get affected basically. So as you can see, now we're moving everything. And now we're only affecting till the middle of the lure and move it only on the X. We can get this nice taper. And that's it. Look how easy it was to make the base shape of our lure. Let's check the messages. Okay, we don't have any messages. By the way, how's the audio and video? This is my second live stream, so still learning. Okay, so now we have the base shape. So what can we do from now? Usually I leave the hardware part for the last step. I will do usually the sculpting, like adding the gills, adding the eye sockets, all the scales and everything. And then at the end, if I want to make it a swim bait or something, for example, I can cut it, or I can start adding the line ties and everything. So I guess this is what we're gonna do now. And to do that, I need to put my mouse aside and bring on my graphics tablet. Oh, it's dusty. It's been sitting for a while. I haven't used it. I'm using the Wacom. Oh, the cable is short. The Wacom NTS 3. It's not the most expensive tablet. It's very basic. And again, here I'm using Alt, and if I tap the pen on the tablet, I can rotate and move around. That's why I turned on the settings initially, because I was using the pen and it's a lot easier to move around like this with the pen. So let's exit from edit mode, hit tab. And by the way, you don't need to learn all the shortcuts. Like, you can go here. I was in edit mode. You can go back to object mode and you can go to sculpt mode, or even here, go to sculpting. And this is where we can do magic, basically. But before we can do anything here, I need to go back to layout mode, and let's turn on statistics to show some statistics about our model. So at the moment we have 11,000 faces. I'm gonna increase this a bit. Let's see, 48. You know what, let's leave it at 11. And let's apply the subdivision. So this is irreversible. Once I apply it, of course I can click Ctrl Z, but later on if I do too many changes and I want to go back, I can't. What I usually do is I save, let's make a new folder here. And let's save it here. And from now on, any changes I do, what I usually do is save incremental, which will, for example, save untitled 1, untitled 2, untitled 3, and so on. So if I need to roll back, I can open a previous file. So I'm gonna apply the modifier. And one thing I have to do before we do anything, if you look at here, the scale is not 1, and that means I have scaled this. So if I try to do any modifiers, or if I try to sculpt or do anything, it's not gonna work. So to apply the scale, I need to click Ctrl A and then apply, and then click on scale. Now everything is 1, and now we can start sculpting. So here in the sculpting tab, I can start doing stuff. Doesn't look right, so let's change the color maybe. Let me show you from the other side. Yeah. So I can start doing stuff here, but as you can see, the resolution is not great, and that's because we don't have enough. What did I do? Yeah, we don't have enough faces to sculpt on, so the resolution of the model at the moment is not high. And to fix that, with the model selected, not the image, I'm gonna add another modifier called multi-resolution or multi-res. And this is similar to the subdivision modifier, but it's different. Let me show you what I mean. So at the moment it's 0. We need to click subdivide, and this will subdivide it once. Now we have 74. I can click subdivide again. Now we have 188. That's a good baseline. And why is it different? because we can have, for example, I can set it to 1 for viewport for the layout page, but 2 in the sculpting page, for example. Or I can go to sculpting and let's open the modifier here. First, as you can see now, the sculpts are smoother and nicer because now we have more faces to work with. But what a good thing about this multi-res is I can actually go back to level 1, sculpt something, and then when I go back to level 2, it's still there. So that's one of the uses of the multi-res. Anyways, let's try sculpting. Oh, I haven't done this in a while, so hopefully it goes well. At the moment, we're using the throw brush. So there are multiple brushes. There's throw, and if I hit Control, it will go inwards. And there's throw sharp, which does exactly what it says, it's sharp. So these are the two main brushes that I use. There's also clay, or clay strips, sorry. If I want to add some stuff, we can do that. Let me increase the size. So F to increase the size, Shift F to make it, to change the smoothness of the brush. So this is how you, for example, add stuff and then you can smooth it out with the Shift key. Okay, so I was thinking of trying something actually, since we're talking about the clay strips. Because usually I go to the draw brush and I do this, for example. Let's hide the image so you can see. So now we had this cut out here. Good job, man. Thank you. And then I only want this side to be visible, so I need to smooth this side. So I do it with the Shift key. This is how I usually work, but I want to try something new. So what if I get the clay strips? And no, I need to make it bigger. And for example, I did something like that. And then we can smooth, let's Control Z, wait, yeah. We can smooth this side instead. So this might work. And now we can go with the throw sharp, make it small, and can do something like this. So the difference is that now this is protruding a bit outwards, but previously it was not. Oh yeah, and we have symmetry on. So everything we do on this side is also done on the other side. Yeah, let's try this approach. Why not? So Control Z everything. Oh no. So this is one of the issues of Blender. I don't know if it's an issue or intentional, but you can't Control Z everything. You reach a point where just no, it won't go any further. But luckily for us, this is fixable because I'm using the multi-res, so I can go back to number 1 and tell it to delete higher. Yeah, 0, delete higher. So now I need to subdivide again. Yeah. Okay, bring back the image. And let's see what we can do here. Clay strips. Just add a bunch of strips. Okay, hide the image. Again, with the shift, you smooth things out. And I can control how much it's smoothing by the pressure of the pen. Basically, the more I press, the more it will smooth things. So here I'm being gentle. Let's try this now. And one thing with 3D printed lures is you might look at when you're doing the design, you might think that, yeah, this is fine. It looks really good. And then you print it and it doesn't show up in the print at all because it's not deep enough. And let's subdivide more. I think we need more resolution. Or no, actually, let's stay at 2. So let's do everything at 2, and then when we subdivide it to 3, we can refine it. Okay. So yeah, I'm not going for ultra realistic. Just this image is now I can see a bit better. Yeah, next time I need to choose a higher resolution image. Okay, again, I don't want to make this live stream too long, so just going to continue. Place strips. Let's add some stuff here. Hide the image. Back to draw sharp. Whoops. Yeah. And we need to smooth it out also from this side. It's looking pixelated at the moment, but it's gonna look better in a bit. Let's see. Yeah. This is not the most realistic fish. Actually, I think this one we can connect it. So if we take the draw sharp brush, we can do something like that. Smooth it out a bit. And by the way, one other brush we can use is, where is it? Crease brush. So this will make these lines a lot sharper. So anywhere there's like a crease or something, or you want the crease to be sharper, you can use this. And this might be too much. No, I'm not an artist, so I'm learning as you guys are learning, but I'm sharing what I learned with you. Okay. Maybe we can do this line. Throw sharp. Is it connected? No, it's not. Something like that. Nope. Oh. Let's wing it. Whoops. Ah, I don't know. Maybe we can smooth this out. Okay, the mouth. So this is connecting to the lip. I need to see this somewhere else. Wait. That's it. Okay, so it goes just before the mouth. Maybe I did it too far. Yeah. Let's smooth this out. Now the mouth will be tricky because it's small. Let's try the clay strips again. So that's the upper lip. Okay, and now we need to create some sort of a hole. Maybe that's too big. Okay. It's gonna be a funny lure. Usually I take my time, like with a lure, it's multiple days of work. Let's give it a mustache. Mustache. Let me see the lower lip. Okay, so the upper lip goes, it's like that, and then the lower lip is below it somehow. Huh. So this actually has, let's smooth this out. So I need to make it look as if this upper lip is above this one now. Let's try this. Something like that. Interesting. Again, I'm not an artist, but I'm learning. It's good enough for a 3D printed lure, for a test lure. Okay. I think that's fine for the face. I don't want to do too much details, and we can add the eye socket later. Said we're done, and then more work. I always do that. I'm like, yeah, this is fine. What's going on? Ah, man. Okay, now it works. My keyboard usually crashes or something. I don't know what happens with it. I made it worth. Just gonna leave it like that. Okay. Now for the scales, I can do them one by one, or let's see, these are, they are kind of like a triangle. Actually, let's do this fin first, and then we'll do the scales. So for the fin, again, with the clay strips, Just add a bunch of material. We can now turn this off. Oops. Oh, come on. Trying to only smooth it out on the inside. Don't want to smooth it outside yet. Okay. And then maybe just from here, let me see. From where it connects, or actually, let's see it here. Yeah. Maybe here we need to blend it with the body. So from this area up like that, just like that. Okay, now with a small draw sharp brush, just touch up the edges. Let's add some more material here. Oh, I was thinking something is wrong. I'm using the wrong brush. Okay, yeah, that's it. And now we need to be super delicate. So let's subdivide one more just to see how it looks. Okay, let's go back to number 3. And I'm gonna use a small brush to smooth out this side, the outer side of the draw sharp lines that we created. Okay, nice. So you might say that these are like too big, even these lines here are too deep, but if I don't make them this deep, they will not show up in a 3D print. And I'm making this lure to print it, that's why it has to be deep. That's what she said. Okay. Let's do some lines. Now, for lines like these, I can just do that, but as you can see, it will not be straight. I can try to be as straight as possible, but there's always gonna be, unless you have like very steady hands, then you can do it. But I don't have steady hands, so we can fix that. If we go to the tool, and then under stroke, there's stabilize stroke. So now it's gonna be like a lag. You see this red line between where I'm drawing and where my cursor is moving and where the brush is drawing, and it will stabilize my stroke. So without it, it's gonna look something, it's gonna be less stabilized. So let's make some lines. So I need these to be sharp. I'm gonna increase this. Let's see. Yeah, decrease the size. Maybe like that. No, this will not show up. I think this is fine. We will touch them up in a bit. As you can see, I can control the sensitivity. Can make it wider here and then start to lift off a bit. Yeah, that wasn't good. Even with a stabilized stroke. Not doing well. This should be fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, this looks fine. Like no one is gonna zoom in and on your lure and he's like, man, your fins are not right. Okay, and now we can smooth the start. Make a transition. And do we need to fix anything here? And by the way, this effect is because of the multi-res modifier. I hope they fix this later, but whenever I do anything like zoom or rotate or something, it does this, which is very annoying. I don't want to smooth it too much. Yeah, let's just leave it like that. Okay, what's next? I think we're only missing the scales at the moment and the eye sockets. So let's try. Here's my mouse back again. Let's try something. Let's try to create a mesh, or not a mesh, texture. So I'm gonna use Inkscape to create a new document, and what I want to do is, oh god, I forgot how to do it, man, it's been a while. Document properties. So we need to draw the scales in a black and white image where black means no change at all, basically, and white means the maximum change, and then you have all the shades of gray in between. So if we look at the scale, so where, let's say I want the right section of this triangle. Let's assume this is a triangle. I want the right section of this triangle to be lifted up, and then the center here to remain where it is. And this is what we are trying to do. So it's going to be going from black to white at the edges. And let's see. So A4, no, not A4. I want pixels. And I want this to be 2084 by 2084 pixels. And let's do a black background. Okay. So let's draw. Will it work with a rectangle? If I draw a rectangle, change the color to black, for example, let's say. How can I rotate it? Yeah, never mind. Let's just do. Okay, first let's define the width and height. Let's do 24 by 24. No, this is too small. 50, let's do 100 by 100. Yeah. I forgot how to rotate that. Let's see, Inkscape, rotate object. I don't want to watch a video. Just show me how to rotate. Yeah, this is how I used to do it, but okay. Choose the select tool and then select the object you wish to rotate. Oh, okay. So we need to click on it again. And how do I rotate it? By 45 degrees? It's minus, no, Alt to snap to angle. Minus 45, that's it. Okay, and now we can change this to a gradient. So what type of gradient do we need? Let's see, I'm gonna go for a radial gradient from black to white. Or we don't need to go full white, like we can say 74 or something, but this doesn't look right. Anyways, let's try that. So the width, 150 by 150. And then we can do -75 for the X, -75 to center it in the middle. And now we can try, let's try. So edit, clone, create tiled clones. Rows, columns, width and height, pixel, 2084, 48 was it? I set it to 2084 by 2084. Let's see. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. Huh. Interesting. And let's do the semicircle. I think it's the easiest. So create a circle. I already have it as a semicircle, but this can be changed. Let's see, 100. No, not 1000. Let's do 100 pixels at the width. So 50 will be a perfect circle. No, 100 will be a perfect circle. Let's make it, or actually 200 will be a perfect circle because the width, it's half a circle, so it's the radius. Let's make it 240. And now we can go back to this. I needed a regular gradient now, not a radial gradient. Yeah, this is much better. Now we can place this at x0, y0. Okay, now here's the tricky part. Oh, this is too big. 50 by 120. Now we can do the tiled clone. Clone tiled clones. Width 2048 by 2048 and create. What? Oh, millimeter, no, reset. Remove pixels. Create. Okay, so here's the problem. So if we open the calculator and we divide 2484 by 50, which is our width, then we're not gonna get an even number. So we need to mess around with the width and height a bit. Let's see. Let's say we have 2084. I want like, no, let's say 50 pixels each is the width, and I want 40 circles. Basically this will be 2000, so I need to edit the document. Let's make the width 2000, and now the height has to be 2000 because it needs to be a square. Okay, this is a clone. This is our actual body, so let's select everything but remove our clone and delete. Remove our body, sorry. Back to 0, 0, and clone, tile clones. So this time I'm gonna go for rows and columns. Okay. So we already know that we can have 40 exactly 40 circles. But how many rows can we have? So each one is 120 by height. Calculator. 2000 divided by 120. Will it work? No. So we need to change the height. Basically, we need to change it to 100. Can have them as a regular circle. That's fine. And now because it's 100, this will now work. 2048 by 2048, create. Why? Okay, let's do rows and columns, maybe. If I do 40 here, create. Oh, this rows. I need the columns remove. We have 40 columns, create. Yeah. This is exactly what we need. And now for the rows, we have 2000 divided by 100 should be 20. Interesting. The height is 100. So 10 is 1000. There's something wrong. Height is 2000 pixels. What is 2000 pixels? Edit, clone, tile clone. $20 by 40. Huh. That's new. Oh, there's a padding between them? What? Okay. Maybe it's this. Yeah. What does this even do? I don't know. But now it's working. Okay, great. So one thing that I need to change is this will create an extra part. We need to delete that. This is our original. And now we can export. So file, export, background color, black. And where do we want to export it to? Let's use desktop bitmap, export. Interesting. Do we have a bitmap? Weird. Did I already export it? It's the same image. Anyways. So how can we use this now? So first, let me show you the layer brush. So this, the unique thing about this brush is, let me show you the draw brush first. So if if it goes over itself, it keeps on piling up. And now I just released my mouse. But layer behaves differently. It will only add a certain amount of material, and as long as you keep clicking the mouse, it will not go above it. And now if I release the mouse and try again, now I can add. So yeah, we can go to the brush settings and we can increase the height from here. So let's go for, let's see, can we go even more? No, that's fine. 0.2 is fine. We can go one more time if we want more. Yeah. So how will this help us actually? Now we can add a texture here to the brush. So in the brush setting under texture, I created the texture, and now I can come to this tab right here, texture tab, and open the bitmap that we just created. And it should show up here. Let's see. If I click F, I can see the size of the scales. And as you can see, they are small at the moment, but that's fine. We'll fix that. Okay, Control Z. So now I need to go far away from the lure. And now, as you can see, they are bigger. But if I try to apply them now, first of all, we have two issues. Where is the advanced tab? Advanced. Okay, so there are two issues. One is that we're gonna go over places where we don't want scales, like for example here on the fin and on the face, and also maybe at the top. And the second issue is sometimes what happens, let's see if we can get this. Yeah. So you can see that scales start to like overlap on top of each other. And that's because when we're using this brush, it's not only affecting this face, it's also affecting the other side. And since it's mirrored, it's like a loop or something. So if we turn on front faces only, this will only affect what is visible. And now we have micro scales on the tail. Okay, so let's start by creating a mask over what we don't want to cover in scales. We can do that. So F to change the size, Shift F. Let's put it at 0.8. This is the feathering. And let's start covering this up. Or you know what? We can do the opposite. Let's throw where I want the scales to show up and invert it. This is how I usually do it. We'll clean up in a bit. I should probably use my pen. You can definitely use a mouse to sculpt, but it's a lot easier with a pen. This one is not even expensive. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Now we can make this smaller, and I think with the shift, is it with the shift or control? Sorry, control, we can start removing these. Yeah, we did a mistake here. That's fine. Okay. So now we have basically uh, masked out all the places that we want scales on. Let's just touch this up a bit. You know what? Just leave it like that. Let it be natural. Now we can actually invert this. And this was no good point. What was the, was it shift arm? Interesting. I keep forgetting shortcuts. Blender have millions of shortcuts. Mask menu. We can do it from the top. Mask invert. Yeah. Oh wait, was that the draw brush? Anyways, so as you can see, now anything we can do or anything we do will only affect the area in that is not masked basically. So this is useful sometimes. We could have probably used it when we were drawing these, for example. So now if I go to the layer brush, I can like go with my scales, but we want them big. Something like that. Can we draw on top of them? Yeah. Make them even bigger. And the Blender will crash. No, didn't. Thank God. It's a good time to save incremental. I didn't do a single save. It's a miracle. And now we can go to mask, clear mask. Oh, some scales. Huh. How did that happen? Oh, we even have some here. Okay, let's go back. And let's see what went wrong. So it's probably something with the mask. Yeah, wasn't dark enough. Okay, now it should be fine. And where else? Was it here? Yeah. So back to layer. Okay, I haven't released my mouse yet. Now I released it. And I'm gonna do another layer. So this is where Blender can get a bit slow because we're dealing with millions of triangles here. Okay, so mask, clear mask. So this is an relatively easy way to add scales, assuming you already have the texture file. It's a lot easier than hand drawing them, but of course the hand drawn scales look much better. I don't know if you can see. Wait, will it show up? Let me see the stream. I don't know if you can see that. Wait. Huh. Okay. Is it visible? So yeah, the hand-drawn scales will look a lot more realistic. Now, if it was painted, then then it's gonna be even more realistic. But yeah, these are fine. We can now fix these outliers by smoothing them out. Starting to look like a gator. Gator scales. I like these. Okay. So what do you guys think? Does it look like a roach? Ooh, what happened here? Yeah, we're gonna need to fix that. So let's and it's right here. How did this happen? This is when you try to sculpt a lure in less than an hour. Oh no, it's been an hour and a half. Usually this process, as I said, takes days to make it right. Now, of course, if you practice enough, you can do it in way less than that. And now I ruined these scales. Oh, still looks fine if you look at it from far enough, from a far enough distance. Okay. I think we are ready to finalize the lure. So this is gonna look pixelated here because if we go to the multi-res, the viewport level is set to 2. We can increase it to 4. Actually, if we leave it at 2 and try to do a Boolean operation, will this help with the performance? Let's see. Because usually what we're about to do next is the most taxing on the computer. Let me show you what I mean. So if I add this cylinder now, and we can't see it at the moment because it's small, but if I click here and I change, okay, radius 1 mil, this will make it a 2 mil diameter, that's fine. In terms of depth, I want it to be, this is the length of the cylinder, I want it to be 20 mil, or can even do less. Let's do 15 mil. This is gonna be the size of the twist wire or the screw eye. In terms of vertices, let's do 16 for now. We can change that later, and I'm gonna move it here. Let's see. So we can leave it like that, but in Blender, topology is an issue, especially with these cylinders. There's an issue called, it's not like a huge issue, but when a point is or a face is made out of more than 4 points, it's called an angon. So we have triangles, it's usually 3 points. We have quads, it's 4 points, and then we have angons. And angons are not really great, especially when you're trying to add like a subdivision modifier. Subdivision surface, you can see it doesn't look good. This is not how it's supposed to look like. So to fix that, first of all, I'm gonna select the top face and the bottom face. Okay, forgot to click shift. So shift select both faces, X, delete faces. And now, or wait, sorry, yeah, I keep forgetting this step. First, I'm gonna inset the faces like that, and then I'm gonna delete the face. Gonna do the same down here, inset and delete face. And now if I go back to vertex, let's select this loop, double click to select it, face, grid fill. Now as you can see, every face is made out of 4 vertices, which is what we want. And now we can go do the same here. Double click, face, grid fill. And now if we add a subdivision surface, we still need to add a loop here and a loop down there. And now we're golden. Maybe move this up a bit. That's fine, it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's do 2, 3 subdivisions for it to be smooth. This is the issue with Blender. If you want like smooth cylinder or a cutout or something, you need lots of faces, and you end up with very high poly models compared to Fusion or FreeCAD. Okay. Shift D to duplicate, R to rotate, G to move. But do we want it here? No. Let's put it here to avoid it coming from the face. Cylinder 2, okay. Something like that. This is great. So let's start with cylinder 1, which is this. Shift, select lure body, and now we can go to tool or to edit, bool tool, and brush Boolean difference. Now before I click it, I have never tried it with the multi-res not applied before, so I'm actually gonna try that now. Let me save this just in case it crashed. I don't need the pen anymore. Let me bring the mouse. Okay, again, select this, shift select the lure and difference. Okay, yeah, that worked. That worked fine. Still not lagging. So now we can hide this cylinder. Cylinder 1, shift select the lure, difference. Not bad. Cylinder 2, shift select the lure, difference. Yeah, you can see it lags a bit when I do a Boolean, but it's not that bad. Okay, and now we have the hardware. We can also view wireframe mode to see how it looks on the inside. For example, maybe this, I need to lift it up a bit here, but I think that's fine. This one is fine. Let's do that. Cylinder 1. Why is this not hiding? Okay. Yeah, cylinder 1. Let's rotate it. Okay, yeah. It's gonna lag. So that's one of the issues. So to go overcome it, this is cylinder 001. You click on the lure. You go to bool tool, cylinder 001, remove it. And now we can rotate it, move it up. And now I can redo the Boolean. Yeah, this is much better. solid mode. Now let's do the eyes real quick. Again, I'm gonna add a cylinder. I want to be, so I have 8 mil eyes. The radius is gonna be 4, and I want half a mil of clearance, so that's 4 point. Let's do 4.2. 4.2 is fine as a radius. Depth, we don't want it that big. Let's do 7. Ooh, where is it? Cylinder 3. Okay. No. Move it everywhere except the Z. Shift Z. Okay, let's do the same fix here. So face select, I for inset, X, delete faces, delete faces, and grid fill. Oh, this is big. Yeah, this is big. That's what she said. 8 by 4. Let's do a 6 mil. 6 mil. Come on. Clicking control instead of So we rotate on the Y by 90 degrees just to see how it's gonna look. Yeah, I think it's fine. 6 milli. So rotate on the Y-axis. We can also we can enable where was it, the gizmo? Yeah, this one. Rotate and move. If you like to do it from the UI instead, you can now do that. And we can change. Where do we change this? So we can change actually from global to local coordinates. So now this will always point to how the cylinder is pointed. And I think that is fine. Let's see it from the inside. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fine. So let's hide the gizmo. And now we can do the subdivision. But don't forget to add loop cuts. Okay. So if I cut this now, it's not going to be mirrored. So I need to mirror it now. I'm going to apply the subdivision. Or do we leave it? Let's apply it. And a mirror modifier. Add a mirror modifier. And for the mirror object, we're going to click this and click our lure. Now we have it mirrored. So now if we click this, our lure, and then edit, brush Boolean difference. Now we have eye sockets. Okay. So what are we gonna do next? Maybe we can add a lip. because without a lip this will do nothing. So we either need to make it a twin bait like this one, but we don't have much time now, so maybe we can make a lip really quickly. I can show you how to cut, how to make cutout for the lip if you wanna like insert it later. So to make a lip, it's fairly simple. Shift A to add a cube. Let's scale it up a bit. And I'm gonna move it to the front. Okay. So in the dimensions tab, I want this to be, let's say, a 2 mil lip. And yeah, let's make it 10 mil or 9, 8. Let's do 8 by 15 is fine. And I'm gonna apply the scale. Now we can go to edit mode, turn on wireframe, select all of these and scale them on the X. Oh wait, turn off proportional editing, scale on the X axis. Something like that. And let's see what will happen now if we add a subdivision. This will happen. So let's start adding loop cuts. Control R, add one here. And we can add one somewhere here. And 2 on the side. Something like that. Let's make it even thinner. So scale on the X. This is fine for now, it will do. So let's move it on the Y-axis, rotate it. Now, will this collide with? Probably will. Yeah, let's try to maybe change the angle of this line tie. This is cylinder 1, cylinder 01. So when I click the lure, I will remove the Boolean modifier for cylinder 1. So the reason I'm moving it is because I need some material between these two. I don't need too much, but this looks fine. So now we can redo the Boolean. And okay, so I can't just cut this from the lure and call it a day, because we need some tolerance or some clearance in order to assemble this later. So I'm gonna duplicate the lip. Shift D. Okay. But I'm not gonna click anywhere. I'm gonna click escape to leave it in place. So now we have two lips in the same place. I'm gonna go to edit mode, Control A to select all, or sorry, A without control to select all vertices. And then if we hit Alt S, then we are doing an offset basically. And I can type in on the keyboard 0.2 millimeters. And now we should have a 0.2 mil offset. Did it not work? Wait. Delete. I'm gonna duplicate it again. Tab A, Alt S, 0.2. Yeah, it did work. It looks smaller though. Yeah. Interesting. So we can use cube 1 to do the difference instead of cube 2. Huh. Oh, wait. Did I apply the scale? I did. Do I need to apply the rotation? No, I shouldn't. This is weird. Cube 1, shift select cube 2, difference. Huh. Let's try the fast solver. Maybe it's because there are so much. Yeah, now it worked. So let's hide the show cube 2. So yeah, as you can see, there are some clearance. There is some clearance between the lip and the lure. Sometimes this exact setting doesn't work when we have to do fast setting. And yeah, that's it. Save incremental. Now I know the lip looks funny, but this is what I can do live at the moment. Maybe the next one. So yeah, we're gonna do this this live stream every week, every Friday. So maybe next week I'll do more practice. Be faster. I haven't touched Blender in like 2 or 3 months, and I didn't even have time this week to practice it a bit. So I think we did well. Let's apply the multi-res I saved just so you can see the full resolution. Whoops, no. Back. We need to set this to 4. It's gonna take some time. Now it's starting to show the detail. Come on. Oh, it's taking its time. But once we apply it, it's done. hopefully. Did it freeze? Oh no. Okay, yeah. We're good. Look at the difference in quality. But on the other side of things, we have 3 million faces. This is insane. Anyways, let's apply this. And now my computer will explode. 16 gigs. $17. Come on. Oh, by the way, I want to show you guys something. So Bamboo Studio released a beta version of their slicer. And in this new version, what are the releases? Public Beta 4. They released it 2 weeks ago. And where is it? Feature 2. Yes, import obj file with color function. So I have always wanted this feature like since forever, because if we open Bamboo Studio, so I have two versions of Bamboo Studio. This is the stable one, and this is the beta one. So if we go to the regular version, and let's I don't know, what do we have here? Let's open a lure projects, chub, swim bait, STL. Let's do the back piece, for example, of this lure. Okay, so if I want to color this in Bamboo Studio, I want to print it in multiple colors. Let's sync the colors. And I click here. Let's say I want to draw in white. If I draw something here, first of all, it's going to be very laggy because this is a high quality model. And it doesn't mirror it, and there is no option, there's no way to mirror it, so I have to do everything twice on each side. And this has been bugging me for a while. I even at some point I thought about making my own plugin to fix this, but now they support color imported from obj files from Blender, basically. So you can color the model in Blender and then export it to Bamboo Studio, which is amazing. So for example, let's say this model right here, but this doesn't work with any color. Like you can't go to the texture paint, for example, create a texture and then color it. And I made a mistake. I went to texture paint now. It's gonna, I think it's gonna load the, yeah, it's gonna load all the vertices, all 3 million vertices. Oh, come on. Anyways, it doesn't work with textures. It only works with vertex colors. So it's very specific. From vertex in obj file. And the color is imported from an LTL file. So usually when you do vertex paint in Blender and you export your file, you don't get only an obj file, you get an obj plus an MTL file. Oh, come on, this is insane. So what I can do now, if I want these performance issues to go, I can remesh but I will lose some detail. I should have probably sticked with 3 subdivisions instead of 4, but that's fine. Oh, come on, I just want to show you the colors. So do you guys have any questions about like Blender, lure making, 3D printing? Let's see. So here, vertex paint. This is what we want. And this is gonna take some time, of course. No, it's fine. Yeah. And here we have symmetry. So if I'm painting in black, then it's gonna be painted on both sides. Now I did try this, and if you want it to work with Blender, there are some stuff that we need to do, because at the moment, if you notice, this color goes from black to white. There's a transition. This will not work because with 3D printers, at least FDM printers, you can't do this fading. It's a solid transition from solid black to solid white, for example. So in the brush settings, we need to go to fall off, and fall off here is basically this. So at the right edge here, it's like nothing, no black at all. And then the more you go towards the center, the more it goes up. So what we need is, we need a custom or a constant fall off. So now, wherever you are on the circle, it's always solid black. You can control the opacity, but yeah. This is how you can paint for Bamboo Studio. So now if I export this, for example, to Bamboo Studio, it's gonna have the correct colors. So say red somewhere here. Yeah. Now I can go to object mode. So in object mode, you can't see these colors. Only in vertex paint. Yeah, in the next live stream, I'm definitely not gonna do a 3 million face lure. Come on. Okay. So now if I click the lure body and export it as an OBJ, so selected only, apply modifiers, export colors, and let's export it on the desktop for now. Now we can, where is Bamboo Studio? Now we can open the new version of Bamboo Studio and import. Hopefully it won't crash. With more than 4 vertices. Oh, okay. Yeah. So to fix this error, we are gonna have to, let me save incremental just in case. And we're gonna have to apply all the modifiers. So apply, this is gonna take a while, but basically we're gonna apply all the modifiers. Then this is where I use the 3D print utility. So in this 3D print plugin, there's something called make manifold, and this will fix any issues with our model. So any vertex that is not connected to anything, or any face that has lots of vertices or angons and stuff. I don't know if it fixes angons actually, but I'm sure that it fixes faces that are colliding with each other and vertices that are like floating in space. So it's here somewhere. Clean up, make manifold. This is what we want. So if I apply all the modifiers, click this, export it to as an OBJ file, and then import it here, we're gonna have a colored model that is ready to print, which is amazing. And that's it. It's already been 2 hours. It's 11 p.m. I should go to sleep. So I hope you guys like this live stream, and I will try to upload these models, this one and the chub swim bait model, which is this lure right here. I will try to upload these tomorrow, and see you in the next live stream. Bye.